is our remote meeting platform where whoever is speaking will be shown predominantly, with smaller images of the members and staff attending on the edge of the screen. The agenda for this hearing has been posted online at perthcounty.ca, and if you want to follow along, please feel free to do so. I would remind all members and staff and others participating in the meeting to mute your microphones when not in use. And as this meeting is being recorded, the Secretary Treasurer will call each of the members' names, and members will respond if they are in favor or opposed to the motion. And the chair will announce the result of the vote. And before we proceed, we're going to confirm attendance of the members by roll call. And Councillor McKenzie.
Here.
And McDermott is here.
Here.
And myself. And Councillor Dean Trankowski is here.
Present.
Okay, so we got everybody but Matt. Okay, we're going to move on. Confirmation of the agenda. I need a motion that August 28, 2023 agenda be approved. Councillor McDermott, Councillor Trankowski, and I'll let Michelle do the roll call.
Councillor McDermott,
Yes.
Councillor Trankowski,
Yes.
Councillor McKenzie,
Yes.
and Councillor Aitchison.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, next, if you got a disclosure of pecuniary interest, you can do it now or at any point in time through this meeting. And we'll move on to the next section, and that's adoption of the previous minutes. And the motion I have here is that the Land Division Committee approve the minutes from the July 31st, 2023 Land Division Committee meeting. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor McKenzie, Councillor McDermott. Any questions before I ask for the vote? Comments? Michelle, take her away.
Councillor Trankowski. How do you vote?
Yes, I approve.
Councillor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councillor McDermott,
Yes.
and Councillor Aitchison.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, moving right along. We have hearing of applications for consent. And the first one is 5.1. And that's application for consent to sever B17/23 for 985069 Perth Oxford Road. And we have Andrea here, and she's going to present this. Take it away, Andrea.
Thank you. So I'm just going to share my screen here. The first application for consent is, as the committee may recall, is for a lot addition. This application came before the committee last month. However, there were some issues that we felt were unresolved, and so the committee decided to defer the application. The lands are located on the north side of the Perth Oxford Road, just outside of Tavistock, and they're located in the municipality of Perth East. And the applications, as I indicated, are just simply doing a lot addition. As you can see, this is an attempt to fix a historical issue where the subject lands, or the lands to be enlarged, have an accessory structure and part of their single detached dwelling that's located on the farm parcel that surrounds the lands to be enlarged. And so basically what the applicants were looking to do is take this sliver of land and add it to their residential parcel, rural residential parcel. And so the issue that was left unresolved at the last meeting was simply that the property owner to the west had concerns with their driveway that was potentially encroaching on the lands to be severed and then to be added to the rural residential parcel. And so through further conversations that occurred with the property owner, Mr. Crum, to the west, and then the property owner of the enlarged lands, Mr. Kropf, we discussed the gravel driveway that, and as you can see, it's very, very slight. You can see there is a dotted line, and that's actually where the gravel driveway does encroach onto the lots to be the severed lands that will be added. However, I spoke with the surveyor of the applicant, and the surveyor indicated that the amount of gravel the gravel portion is typically probably actually from like it's spread over time from the gravel driveway on the westerly lands. And he didn't actually feel that there was any sort of reason as to why the committee should require an easement to be imposed on these lands. In speaking with both Mr. Crum and Mr. Kropp, they agree that they didn't think it was necessary. And so because of that, I have removed that condition. With respect to the lot addition in and of itself, we are supportive of the application. It is seeking to fix a previous historical issue, and this will allow the applicant, or sorry, the property, Mr. Kropp, to be enlarged. This will allow him to actually have legal rights to the buildings that are supposed to be on his property. There are no zoning issues with respect to the lot addition. The remnant parcel is still large enough to obviously run an agricultural operation, and so there are no concerns there. And in fact, we think that this is actually good planning, as it's making it squaring up a parcel. And so in light of that, we recommend that this application be approved.
Thank you, Andrew. According to my notes you sent me, we have no delegations to speak to this. Is that correct? Okay, any questions from the committee? And I also now see I have our chairman, Matt Duncan, on the screen. So once we finish with this, I'll let him take over. Any questions on this one, Councillor Duncan? Okay, I have a motion here. Perth County Land Division receives the application for consent to sever B17/23 B985069 Perth Oxford Road report, and that Perth County Land Division Committee approve the application for consent to sever number B17/22 submitted by Bert and Nancy Logan, affecting lands described as Part Lot 24, Concession 6, Southeast Oak Ward, Perth East, subject to the conditions in the report. And I'm not going to read all those reports because I got to change the screen to do that. And now Andrew did mention that one condition had been taken out. Does anybody have any questions about that? So I need a motion to approve, or a mover and a seconder. Councillor Trentowski, Councillor McDermott. I'll let you take that away and do the roll call.
Councillor McKenzie,
Yes.
Councillor Trentowski,
Yes.
Councillor McDermott,
Yes.
Councillor Aitchison,
Yes.
and I don't know that Councillor Duncan gets a vote because he's the chair.
Well, he usually does.
Yeah.
Councillor Duncan,
I'm in favor.
great.
Technically, I shouldn't have been voting either if I was the chair. That's the rule.
I'm confused.
Okay. I am going to mute and let Councillor Duncan take over as he's our normal chairperson.
Thank you very much, Jim. My apologies, everyone. My IT department decided to reboot my computer at 9:25. I was kicked out of my computer for a few minutes. So, all right, I guess we'll move along here. Where am I here?
We're at 5.2 in the agenda.
5.2, application for consent to sever number B20/2023, Block 4, Malcolm Crescent, and Jerica Gilbert will present that.
Thank you, Chair Duncan. Can you folks hear me?
Mhm.
All right, I will share my screen. And we'll get going on B20-23. So this application is in the central part of Listowel. There we go. Central part of Listowel. Surrounding land uses are medium to low density residential in nature. The applicant is Shank Legal on behalf of 2459825 Ontario Limited, who is represented by Tyler Kerr. This is part of the final phase of the NP 10-01 plan of subdivision, which was begun by Terrier Incorporated. And what we're going to do today is create 2 lots out of the subject lands. So the applicant has a tendency to call these lot 11, which starts over here, lot 12, and lot 13 is this irregular shaped parcel up here. It's within the listable settlement area under the official plan, so it's subject to both Perth County and listable official plan policies. The current zoning of the land is R4-7. So that -7 in that special provision refers to allowing townhouses in this development. There aren't townhouses proposed by this, so that's not really something we're concerned about today. And the creation of the 2 new lots will be for multi-residential uses. So there's already been some development on this lot since they were able to get a building permit for 1 4-plex. So this picture on the left here is looking out at the new 4-plex, and that's on lot 11. Now, the sketch submitted by the applicant does show 4-plexes on lot 12 and lot 13. Lot 13 will only be able to have a 4-plex on it if those plans are changed or if there are zoning amendments or variances permitted through to allow for a rear yard setback and also a decrease in parking. As the committee will note, there's no conditions requiring a variance or rezoning, because it could be the case that the applicant or the developer changes their plans, and it is feasible to think that a semi-detached or some other form of development may fit there. So planning didn't want to impose that condition just in case plans change. So that's why I put up on the screen, just kind of think of that as future development. These lots will conform to the North Perth zoning bylaw for the R4 zone. There are 2 conditions that are kind of considered non-standard. So the first one is for the Maitland Valley Conservation Authority. So there is a flood fringe 2-factor floodplain over the subject lands. Now, the MVCA is in favor of this application, so long as the applicant kind of works with them to ensure that the development that goes on the lots will be above the kind of identified natural hazard in the area. And from what I understand from the applicant, they've already been in touch with the MVCA and there shouldn't be any issues with clearing that condition. There is also a condition that has come from North Perth staff that was discussed with the applicant. So what we're looking at here is standing on Victoria Street, Victoria Avenue, and kind of looking into the subdivision. So the applicant has agreed to convey a small portion of lot 13. So in the event that North Perth may want to put a sidewalk or some other public infrastructure in there, they will have the option to do so at a later date. And the applicant is okay with that. So that would be a small portion of this lot coming off. So the reason this has been brought before the Land Division Committee is public notice was given on July 4th, and we've had about 4 comments from members of the public who just identified some concerns with the application. Surrounding kind of the increased density proposed, environmental concerns, privacy concerns between the 4-plex and the townhouses. Planning staff are in support of this application. It meets the requirements of the zoning bylaw and it meets the intention of development that was kind of established through the plan of subdivision process. And it fits into the plans and policies of both the provincial policy statement, our official plans, and the general intent of our zoning bylaw for increased density in this area. So I'm happy to answer any questions. And that is kind of my presentation for this report. So we are supporting, the planning department is supporting this one. So thank you.
Thank you, Jerica. Questions, comments from the members? Councillor McDermott?
Just one question, like the map that was used, it showed that there was like trees and all that kind of stuff, but actually it's pretty well almost a finished subdivision.
Yes, through you, Chair Duncan. Yes, so that it's all under construction today. It's a final phase of that subdivision, and something to note about the NP 10-01 is there are conditions for tree replantings within the plan of subdivision agreement, from what I understand. So once the development is finished, there will be trees kind of installed over time. Did that answer your question?
Oh yeah, no, I just wondered that the map that was used showed a lot of trees and stuff, and then when you showed your picture, it looked
Yes.
like there was a whole pile of houses that were done. No, that's all. Thank you.
Yes, a lot of development in this portion over the past even just 2 years. A lot has gone up there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, did we have any delegations wishing to speak on this one?
Yes, we do. We have Teresa O'Reilly, a neighbor.
Okay,
Bring her in now. Mhm. Okay, she's here now.
welcome, Teresa.
Welcome. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak. I have a number of concerns actually with this lot. First of all is the fact that those fourplexes, when first presented with this 2 years ago, those fourplexes were actually supposed to be side-by-side duplexes, not fourplexes. So I've already got a concern with the fact that parking goes from a required 5 spots, 4 spots for the dwellings plus an extra for visitors, and now are at 7 parking spots. So you've already gone and increased the amount of parking required. The street is not wide enough. I don't believe that it's wide enough. And I believe another delegate, made note of concern for fire access, that the road is too narrow and poses a danger for access for emergency vehicles. You've already increased the number of units, which increases the number of parking. It's great that there's an extra parking spot for all these units that's accommodated in the plan, but we all know that the overflow parking is going to be on the street. Street's too narrow. Emergency vehicles are never going to be able to turn around. It's going to put residents at risk. The units do not fit with the existing neighborhood, and my understanding was that the plan was, even for densification, that the buildings are to fit with the neighborhood. The adjacent neighborhood is R1. It's one of the last few R1 neighborhoods in town. And so sticking the fourplexes on there definitely does not and did not fit with the existing neighborhood. The proximity to the drainage ditch is a very big concern for me. There's a lot of wildlife. We've got some turtles, you've got the green heron that nests in there, you've got all kinds of wildlife that depend. It was already a strain on the natural environment when that lot was completely decimated to allow for this development. And now there's going to be even more strain because you're putting more residences that back up against this. And I can tell you right now, from having seen how this has gone, that the builder has not taken any care to keep trash, garbage, or runoff out of that ditch. I have repeatedly made phone calls to get them to clean up their mess. I've actually seen some of the wildlife running around with bags attached to their neck because there's garbage from the construction waste that has made its way into the ditch. So they're not keeping things clean. The one lot, lot 13, would require a lot of variances. It's going to be short the required number of parking spaces. That particular lot is directly at the entrance to Malcolm Crescent. So if you're going to be short the number of required parking spaces, you're going to have on-road parking. And where are they going to park? Right at the entrance to Malcolm Crescent. That's not acceptable. That's dangerous. It's dangerous. Emergency vehicles aren't going to be able to come and go properly. And there's no way that it would be able to be policed unless no parking signs were posted all up and down Malcolm Crescent and not allowing that. And then you'll have spillover parking onto Victoria Avenue, which already has a problem with speeding, and it's too close to the proximity to the entrance to the walking trail. So you've got a number of hazards for people on the Crescent. You've got hazards for people walking on the trail. And then you have the problem with the wildlife. I understand densification. I truly do. I don't believe that this proposed severance is a good idea at all for the people living there, for the current neighbors, or for the proximity to that trail. Part of planning is to account for the natural environment as well. It doesn't just mean farmland. It means what's existing already. And that area has already taken a huge hit. There's no need for this. Absolutely no need. This housing does not, it was originally proposed to be for senior housing. I can guarantee you it is not senior housing in the majority of this area. It was proposed to be affordable housing at $2,300 a month plus utilities. I don't think so. So it meets neither one of those requirements. So you're really not doing anybody any favors. There's enough development with fourplexes and everything else in other areas that are much better suited to it. This is one of the last couple of R1 neighborhoods in the area. And it should be maintained because part of planning is to maintain a good mix of different styles of housing. That's it. Thanks for listening. And that's I don't know what else I can say. That's
Okay, thank you, Teresa.
We also have Tyler Kerr here.
Okay, you want to bring him in?
I will, yeah. One moment. Tyler, you're in the meeting now and can speak.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Tyler, welcome.
Hey, how are you? First of all, I'd like to start off by saying I disagree with that last speaker there, Teresa. You know, the lots are zoned R4 to 7, so they're not even zoned R1. And if you look at the original subdivision plans that were done up for it with the servicing drawing, they both show stacked fourplexes in those lots. Long story short, when we started this subdivision, like my father, he was in charge of everything. He passed away like during the construction of the road. And when I went and registered my lots there, I did them in lotless blocks. because my surveyor advised me that we have, since we're building them out, we'd have a bit more leniency to play with the lot lines there. And then, so to me, like, I'm not changing anything from the original, subdivision agreement there when we started. And that last lot there, I'd already spoken with Jerica about, we still got to deal with that during the zoning when we apply for the application. And like, I realize there is a lot of, minor variance work to go on there. And like we discussed, if the town isn't gonna go with what we're trying there, we'll just change it to a semi or, refocus that once we get to it. My original application only showed that as future development just because we didn't have all that stuff, ready yet. But then they wanted just to kind of roughly see what we were proposing, because they said they didn't have any control during the site plan process anymore. So, and then like with regards to the garbage there, there was a couple times there in the winter where, the garbage would blow a bit, but it's like when the bylaw lady came out, she said it's winter. You're gonna have some stuff, that's gonna, maybe blow around on some of those super windy days, right? And so, I understand, she seems disappointed that the trees were all cut down here, but what's the alternative, right? We need as much density as we can get, and with the current climate for people moving to this country and demand that we have on housing, like, we have to increase densities in these towns, right? We can't just have, all single detached lots, right? Which in the original subdivision drawings, the servicing is done for what we're doing, right? So, to me, I'm just trying to finish off the subdivision as per the drawings there for the engineered drawings for the road. So I just, and then at the start when I'd done this, I was originally doing it through part law control exemption, but then, recently they've said they're trying to get away from that. And, when I'd first, started it there, Sean, the old planner, they were all on board with that. So, that was kind of the way we've been doing it. And then now, now we're here, right? So, in my mind, the parking, you only need 50% over the units, and then the town has a bylaw for that extra unit or the extra parking space. So in my mind, the parking's all good there. And then with regards to her affordable units there, well, that's a hard one, right? Because I just sell the buildings to people that buy them, right? And I can't control what they set their price at, right? And unfortunately, the way the interest rates have climbed since we started this, we started it back in 2020 there, and the interest rates, the way they've went, it's not affordable. Like, affordability is just such a hard thing to do right now, right? Like, I can't force someone I sell a building to set the to set what he needs, right? He's got to, look out for his own business, right? So, in my mind, it's already zoned R4 to 7. It's not zoned R1 like the lady, was saying that it was, right? And then, I don't know. That's really all I have to say about that. I don't know if you have any questions you'd like to ask me. Hold on, I can't hear you right now. Hello? Oh, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. There you are.
Okay. Thanks, Tyler. Does any of the committee members have any questions for Tyler? Councillor McDermott?
Yeah, like the roads, they'd be built to whatever standard that the municipality would demand, right?
Yeah, it's got.
Would they be whatever standard width that a road would be then?
Yeah, it's a standard road width, and then it's got 5 meter boulevards on each side. So, it's a wide roadway.
Okay, no,
And then we have my surveyor, he is giving the town that wider access off of Victoria as well in his reference drawing.
Okay, thank you. Councilor McDermott, that satisfies your question? Good. Okay, thanks a lot, Tyler. I don't see anybody else with any other questions, so we'll move along.
Thank you.
All right, I have a couple of motions if nobody else has any questions. I have a motion to approve or a motion to deny. I'm just wondering if someone would like to make the motion to approve. Councilor Aitchison, seconded by Councilor Tantowski. Okay, I'm going to read the motion. Perth County Land Division Committee receives the application for consent to sever B20 2023 Block 4 Malcolm Crescent report, and the Perth County Land Division Committee approved the application for consent to sever B20 2023 Block 4 Malcolm Crescent submitted by 2459825 Ontario Limited, affecting lands described as Block 4 Registered Plan 44 M81 Malcolm Crescent, Listle Ward, North Perth, subject to the conditions within the report. Okay, Michelle, I'll get you to do the roll call.
Counselor McDermott, you vote?
yes,
Counselor Trentowski? How do you vote?
Yes.
Counselor McKenzie?
Yes.
Counselor Aitchison?
Yes.
And Counselor Duncan?
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, thank you. And moving on to 6.1 consent file status report. Michelle?
Oh, unmute myself. Thank you, Chair. So I circulated the consent file status report, and I'll just highlight a couple things from that report. Since the last meeting and as of August 21st, we've had 2 new consent applications. We have 16 applications that are currently in process and 2 applications that had been approved through the delegated authority process. 5 applications received the final approval, for which a certificate of official was sent to their solicitor. And currently there are 8 applications that are on hold until the applicant and or their solicitor can prepare additional materials or studies required. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
I don't see any questions. Okay, so we have no correspondence, no appeals, no other business.
So we
No
need a
close-
motion. Sorry, Chair Duncan, we need a motion for
My apologies.
6.1.
Yep. Can I get a motion to accept the consent file status report? Councilor Aitchison, second by Councilor McKenzie. Michelle, let you take the vote.
Thank you. Counselor McDermott, how do you vote?
yes,
Counselor Trentowski?
Yes.
Counselor McKenzie?
Yes.
Counselor Aitchison?
Yes.
And Chair Duncan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we have no correspondence, no appeals, no other business, no closed session. Next meeting date, September 25th, 2023. Could I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Hey, just before we do that, I see we've lost Jerica. I just wanted to wish her the best in her new endeavor. Really sorry to see her go.
Thank you. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Yes, they're as they're leaving, they are wrapping lots of work up. So I'm sure they hopped off to get at that work, but I will let
Just
them
you
know.
relay that to her.
I will for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll get a motion to adjourn. Councilor McDermott, seconded by Councilor Tantowski.
Great. Counselor McKenzie?
Yes.
Counselor Aitchison?
Yes.
Counselor Trentowski?
Yes.
Counselor McDermott?
yes.
And Chair Duncan?
Yes,
Carried.
great. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good